All right, for this week's exercise, we're going to work with a real-world correlation to better understand burn-up and burn-down charts. And what's more real than working toward a degree? I'll walk you through how we can apply agile principles to something like managing our coursework over multiple semesters. Let's take my example. I'm pursuing an AAS in fantasy and sci-fi studies. And just like any project, there's a goal: graduation with 64 credits. My backlog is the total work I need to do to achieve that goal, which includes all of my required courses. Each course is like a user story that needs to be completed to reach the final product, graduation. The priority of these courses has already been determined through the mystical arts of alphabetical order. Now, just like a development team's velocity represents how much work they can handle per sprint, my maximum course load per semester is 17 credits. That's my velocity. Any more than that, and I'm going to burn out. But like any project, things don't always go as planned, and you'll see that reflected in the burn-up and burn-down charts. In Sprint 1, the goal was to complete 15 credits for the semester. But as with any project, life happens. I only managed to complete 12 credits because I couldn't finish cryptid biology and ecosystems, which accounted for 3 credits. In Agile terms, that course is now considered unfinished work, just like user stories that didn't get completed within a sprint. This is where backlog refinement comes into play. In Agile, we would review those unfinished stories, replan, and move them into the next sprint. So just like that, I'm going to carry cryptid biology and ecosystems into the next semester. Now that I'm carrying the course into Sprint 2, the plan for that sprint also changes. Initially, Sprint 2 was planned for 17 credits, which was already at my maximum velocity. But since I didn't complete cryptid biology and ecosystems, those 3 credits have to be added to Sprint 2's workload, bumping the total planned work to 20 credits. Now, as you can imagine, this is a problem. My velocity is capped at 17 credits, so taking on 20 credits in Sprint 2 is unrealistic. Just like in Agile, when the workload exceeds the team's capacity, I need to reprioritize and adjust the sprint plan. What I'll have to do is either shift some lower priority courses into Sprint 3, or find another way to balance the workload. In this case, Intergalactic Diplomacy and Alien Cultures and Fun with Quantum Mechanics are 1-credit courses that can be shifted into the next sprint, lowering the current load to 18 credits, which is manageable even if slightly over my velocity. So now, Sprint 2 consists of 18 credits, including the carried over cryptid biology and ecosystems. Once again, I aim to complete this sprint within the semester, keeping up with my progress and managing any potential scope creep. Moving on to Sprint 3, the goal here is to take on 17 credits, but I am still trying to get caught up, and the 2 courses I deferred from Sprint 2 are still hanging out, waiting to be completed. That just won't do, so during my backlog refinement, I again update the sprint to reflect the added work for Fun with Quantum Mechanics and Intergalactic Diplomacy and Alien Cultures. And again, I am over my velocity and something has to give. However, as with any project, unexpected changes can occur. In my case, Sprint 3 ended up going slightly off track again. This time I wasn't able to finish Pirates vs. Monsters, a comparative study. That 3-credit course is now becoming unfinished work, which will carry over into Sprint 4, alongside the other planned courses for the final semester. By Sprint 4, I need to complete 15 credits to stay on pace for graduation. However, with the unfinished Pirates vs. Monsters, a comparative study from Sprint 3 added to the backlog, Sprint 4 now has a total of 18 credits, which is 1 credit over my max velocity. This creates another challenge. I either need to push some work into an additional sprint, an extra semester, or increase my workload in Sprint 4, accepting the risk of burnout. At this point, the burn-up and burn-down charts give a clear picture of where things stand. The burn-up chart will show that while progress is being made, scope changes like carrying over unfinished courses have affected the timeline. Similarly, the burn-down chart will illustrate that while work is being completed, there's still more left to do than originally planned, and I'm at risk of falling behind schedule. This brings up important Agile concepts such as managing scope creep, reprioritizing work, and refining the backlog as you progress. The whole point of using these tools, whether in a software development project or something like completing a degree, is to maintain transparency and make data-driven decisions to ensure that the project stays on track. By regularly reviewing and updating the sprint plan, I can adjust my goals and timeline as needed to avoid falling too far behind and risking failure to meet my project's ultimate goal, graduation. To get you ready for this week's assignment, let's take a closer look at this chart. The top purple line is your project's scope. In this case, that's the 64 credits, or points, needed to graduate. This orange line represents the planned work to be completed per sprint, or semester. The green line shows the actual work completed so far. If we extend the green line beyond the current point, you can see that I would either need to take on more work than my velocity allows, or add an extra sprint. This would cause a delay in the project's end date or deliverable. Your assignment is to create your own chart using any medium you prefer. Even hand drawing and taking a picture is fine. The goal is to plot your current progress in your degree program. If you don't want to or can't use your own program, you can select one of the 7 programs listed in your assignment instructions. For the courses you've completed, place them in the sprint, semester, when they were finished. For any courses still unfinished, plot them into your future sprints. There are additional videos available that explain more about how to create and interpret burn-up and burn-down charts, and those will help if you need further clarification. Take your time and have fun with this, and I look forward to seeing how you apply these agile concepts to your academic journey.